And welcome to another edition of South Texas Crossfire. This is Attorney Joe Flores reminding you to join us each and every week right here on KTMB with the Lopez family. Special thanks to Don Humberto Lozano Lopez. We honor him each and every show, and the Lopez family, and my good friend Carlos Lopez, who's at the helm now. You guessed it, the Ted Turner of South Texas Broadcasting, and everything they're doing for the Latino community and also bringing on politics and social issues that affect us all. I'm honored today to bring on a great judge, a man I've appeared in front of for many, many years, who has served our community and has handled high-profile cases, tough cases. And he is on the bench of the 214th District Court, and he's running again for your vote in November, and that is none other than Jose Longoria. How are you, Judge?
Joe, it's good to see you.
Well, Your Honor, it's always a pleasure to have you on. It's been so long. First, let's catch up. How's that doctor's son of yours?
It's a pain.
Oh, okay, but he's practicing?
Yes, he called me about 3 months ago, and he says, look, you need to lose some weight. I said, why? And he said, because you're going to die if you don't. And so he said, here's what you got to do. And he calls and checks on me and says, how are you doing?
You're looking good. You're looking good.
He pushes a little bit too much.
The black robe takes off at least 20, Your Honor. You're looking good. But anyway, so tell us a little bit, those that don't know you as far as on the bench, because a lot of the time it's a thankless job being on there, the district court, but I know it's an honor for you to serve. What have you done in your legal career before you entered the bench so people know your education, training, and background?
Well, I graduated from Roy Miller High School, born and raised in Corpus Christi. And after going off to the university and doing my studies, returned back. One summer I returned and worked for Bill Mobley in the district attorney's office as a clerk. And then after finishing my law career, law studies, pursued my law career. And within 7 years of being on the a member of the Bar Association, I became only the second president, Hispanic president that there has been in the Bar Association at that time. The first one was our Honorable Judge De Aces, Eduardo De Aces was our first Hispanic president of the Bar, and I was the second, and we didn't have another one for a long time after that.
Well, great accomplishments, and so many people forget, but I sure haven't. My father also that, I remember and respect and honor so much, did a lot for civil rights, and he was helping people along. And they were so underrepresented. It's always glad to see when I see female Latinas attorneys and Latino attorneys also, and a diversity among those. But you guys were some of the first, you and Judge De Aces and others that came on, Armando Reina, other pioneering attorneys that were Hispanics, the Bonilla family, of course.
Of course.
And so what made you want to become a judge and to serve?
Well, I figured that after I got the boys and family out of school that I wanted to do something for myself. And I had practiced for 23 years. And once they were all off to college and professional school, I decided, hey, it's time for me to do something. And that's why I always wanted to be a judge, because I felt that I had the temperament and the intelligence to do what I'm doing today.
Well, and let me ask you this, you have a reputation for, number one, running the court docket very efficiently. I mean, they better have those pleas in. People got to be ready. Continuances are given with a lot of thought.
Correct.
But the other issue that I want to bring up is you have had to make some tough decisions on that bench. I want to jump in there. We can't talk about specifics. I know that. You've admonished me about that. We can't talk, but the cases, the types of cases, what are some of the most heart-wrenching that you've had to participate in?
Capital murder, death penalty cases, baby murder cases, child abuse cases of all types, burglaries, obviously, robberies, aggravated assaults, family violence. I mean, unfortunately, women are abused, and somebody's got to step in and protect them. And lots of times they come into court and they say, well, no, he didn't do it. Well, you give a report to police officers, follow through with it, because it's going to happen again. And it does. They come back once, twice, 3 times sometimes. Sometimes they wind up dead. And that's the unfortunate part about it. And we've got to protect these families, the family unit. The mother, you know, we always say, well, mama is number one in the family, which it is. You know, dad's work, mamas take care of the family. And today it's a different world. Today's mamas are working too. Sometimes the kids have to take care of themselves. But for a man to step in and abuse a woman just because he doesn't like the kids that are there, that's not going to happen in my court.
Well, and the legislature, a lot of people put a lot on your shoulders and they say, well, Judge, it isn't fair, this law and that law. Let's be clear. You don't make the law.
That's correct.
What is a judge's job for those out there who don't understand the legal system?
Well, for instance, there was a case that was tried. Jury found guilt. It went up to the Court of Appeals locally. They found everything was right. It went up to the Court of Criminal Appeals, the highest criminal court in Texas. They said it was right. They got some real high-power lawyers. After 2 or 3 shots at it, the court decided we need to look at it again. And what they did is they sent it to me to do it over again and for me to listen to the evidence and give them an opinion as to what should happen. Well, there were 12 individuals. That's why we have a jury system. Mm-hmm. We have lost so many young lives, men and women, that have lost their lives protecting our country and protecting the right to a trial by jury. And for me to say, oh, those 12 people were wrong, it's not right. I mean, I heard the evidence as I was instructed to do, and I made my recommendations. My recommendations were what I heard, and there was nothing different. I can't mention specifics.
Right.
I'm talking hypothetically if a case is similar to that, you know.
Well, and the thing that I want to underline, and ladies and gentlemen out there, you're listening to and watching Jose Longoria, District Judge, 214th District here in Nueces County. And as you've heard, that's a very, very important seat because it handles anything from domestic violence to the robbery to any types of felonies, even divorce cases, child abuse cases, and capital murder. So stay with us. We've got a few minutes before the break, but what I wanted to talk about was the jury system. So many people out there, and I've told my clients, look, you want to go to trial? Let me tell you the reality. Many people on there have jobs, lives, and grudgingly they serve, but they do serve and show up. Some people, you know, say, gosh darn, I'm going to get paid X amount a day. My employer's going to be on me. It's a great responsibility to serve. So when they're on there and they do get picked, they don't want their time wasted.
Correct.
You know, and I tell them that, you know, my clients, whether it be civil or criminal, can you walk us through how that process, jury selection, because so many people right now, I know Judge, one of the judges there, and you've also been in favor of this, is going and using the high-tech system, maybe having some jurors on call where everybody's not a cattle call on Monday morning. Tell us a little bit about the jury system.
Well, what we have done is we've divided it up now where if you have an excuse, or you want to bring an excuse forward, you come on Friday afternoons. And we have a judge there, I'll be there, and they present their excuse. And I'll decide whether you're going to return Monday or whether you're excused. And a lot of these people that come in on Fridays, they have very legitimate excuses, so they don't have to return Monday. But then on Monday mornings, we go down and we don't hear excuses then. We just make sure that they're qualified to serve. We send them up to the courts. You're supposed to tell the judge of that court, you know, here's what happened. I didn't know it was going to happen, but my child's in the hospital. It wound up in the hospital Saturday morning. I couldn't have told you Friday because I didn't know. Well, obviously they're going to be released. And, you know, it's a privilege to serve on a jury.
I agree.
This is a right that we have as American citizens. And like I said earlier, you know, so many lives were lost to protect that right, and we've got to continue to protect it. And we have to serve, and the jurors that serve in my court, there's no waste of time. The lawyers are pushed to get that case in and out as fast as possible in accordance with justice.
Well, and I appreciate that. One of the things that I like about your court is you give a certain amount of time, like between 8 and 9, to confer with the prosecutor. get some sort. If we're going to plea it, we're going to plea it, and if not, but I've seen guys who come in unprepared in your court. I know better. They'll come in with no file, no nothing, and then say, well, the judge is going to give me a continuance, and we're going to get the case continued. And what happens then?
It doesn't work that way in my court.
Right.
I mean, like I said, it's a court of justice, obviously, and we have to be equal with everybody. I don't care whether it's a lawyer that comes in there wearing, you know, $3,000–4,000 suits, or a lawyer comes in here with a polyester suit. If you have a legitimate reason for a continuance, I will hear it and I'll make a decision. But I would prefer the lawyer brings the prosecutor with them before the hearing and tell me, Judge, here's my problem. And of course, you know, I have vacation set, automatic. You're going to get a continuance, because I believe that lawyers work very hard, regardless of what some people think. They work hard and they should have some time off with their family. And I believe in the vacation continuances.
Well, and the other part of the efficiency, what you're talking about, and I don't think the ladies and gentlemen, the jury out there, kind of, let's step back, ladies and gentlemen, when what the judge is talking about those excuses. You know how important that is on a Friday? It's because it makes the difference between an employer having to compensate for that person being out and having the privilege to serve. It just doesn't cost the employee money. The employer is also burdened. The whole society is burdened in a way that, let's not waste time. So what these judges here, like Judge Longoria, are doing is so important that your jury duty is a privilege. It's the best system in the world. But we have to understand, ladies and gentlemen out there, that your time is valuable, but the taxpayer dollars. And we got a minute before we break, but let me ask you this. Trials are costly. How do you do it to streamline that trial process before we go on break, and then we'll get into specifics?
By pushing the lawyers to put your case on and you know, have your facts ready to go, your evidence and your witnesses, and move the case along so that we don't waste any time, because those people that are sitting there judging this person, they're the taxpayers. They're the ones that are paying. They have to pay taxes. Commissioner's Court go after those taxes, rightfully so, because we have to keep the system going.
Well, we're going to take a break. You're watching Jose Longoria, your district judge, 214th District Court, Nueces County, and we're going to be learning more about how his courtroom works, and by extrapolation, we see how the justice system works. Please stay tuned to Judge Jose Longoria, 214th District Court, when we come back.
Have you been arrested or are potentially facing criminal charges? You need a trial attorney who is well-versed in the courtroom. Joe Flores has handled hundreds of criminal cases, and many of them to trial. Joe Flores can provide you with competent representation to protect your constitutional rights in state and federal court. Joe Flores can help if you have been arrested or facing criminal charges. The law offices of Joe Flores. Equal justice for all.
Each year, millions of dollars are lost to healthcare fraud. The elderly and the poor are the most vulnerable. Every day, unscrupulous healthcare providers are submitting false claims to the government's Medicaid and Medicare programs. The state and federal government are offering rewards for information leading to the successful prosecution of these cases. For more information, contact the law offices of Joe Flores. With his experience in the medical profession and as a trial lawyer, Joe Flores can provide you more information on how to fight healthcare fraud. Law offices of Joe Flores. Equal justice for all.